In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of In Full Zoom. I'm Nestor Licanto, and our guests this week are from Victim Advocates Reaching Out. Brianna Duenas is the campaign fundraising chairperson, and John Mendiola is their spokesperson. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Before we talk about the big 40th anniversary celebration, so a little bit of background to start off. Tell us about the origins of VARO and why it was established 40 years ago. Whoever wants to go. Sorry.
Go ahead, John. All right. So the origins, it started in 1981 as an idea between two individuals who saw the need on Guam. By 1982, it became established as CARO. By 1989, if I'm not mistaken, it was established as VARO. So CARO stands for Counseling Advocates Reaching Out, and then it soon changed in 1989 to Victim Advocates Reaching Out. So the history is 40 years, and we have done nothing but help individuals that have gone through trauma. Throughout these 40 years, we've helped individuals get out of situations that they needed to get out of. And we are just excited to celebrate all of that. We're excited to celebrate the victims, the survivors, and the champions.
All right. And Brianna, tell us a little bit more about the upcoming celebration and what can people expect?
Yeah, so like John said, we're celebrating 40 years of services to the people of Guam, and together with our community partners, our volunteers, and our staff, we will be hosting our inaugural Purple Gala on October 15th at the Hotel Nico.
All right. So what's the Purple Gala? Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so you see on John's background, that's our save our date and the invitations for gala. And so the gala really was brought up just to bring light to the services that we provide, and in addition to raise funds for us to continue our services. And our theme this year is masquerade, and John really brought this idea to light, and I think it's just so beautiful that and very fitting that masquerade is our theme. And John, if you want to share about how you got that idea.
Oh, you're muted there, John. You gotta unmute.
All right, so sorry. So with the whole idea with the masquerade theme was to enlighten people to the abuse that people may go through within their homes. A lot of times when they come out of their homes, they're still wearing a mask. They're wearing that smile, right? They're wearing a beautiful sunshiny day on their faces. And the masquerade, the masks, we will have an unmasking during the gala, which represents the encouragement, the empowerment to women, children, and men, and those most vulnerable, to remove the mask. And that we're here to help them remove that mask of silence.
Oh wow, that's pretty deep, John. But we're not talking necessarily about the COVID mask that we're all used to, right? We're talking about masquerade ball mask, right?
Right. So everybody will be in a mask, and those that do come without a mask, we will have masks available for their use, just to show the significance of the unmasking during the time of the program that we're going to do that in.
All right. And Brianna, when and where? And you still looking for sponsors, and who are your sponsors so far?
Yeah, October 15th at the Hotel Nico, starting at 6 p.m. We are currently still looking for raffle donations. So if you're interested in providing any kind of in-kind donation, you can reach us at 477-5552. And we would like to, give a special shout out to our sponsors with Addis Trust and Investments, Future Smiles, ASIGA, the Inventory, Bank Pacific, Bank of Guam, John, am I forgetting anybody? I don't want to leave anybody out. All our wonderful sponsors.
Triple J.
Triple J,
We
yes.
have Triple J. We have oh gosh, we have so many individuals. The Blush. By the way, you can still go to the Blush, and they're still offering everybody 15% discount if you're purchasing a dress or anything to wear for the gala. Just mention Purple Gala, and they will be happy to assist you with that 15% discount. Was there anybody else?
Yeah, so
I don't have the list in front of me. Nestor, there were so, honestly, Nestor, I need to bring this up. We did not anticipate an overwhelming response to our call out. And I tell you, Yumi, between Trina, myself, Trina, who is the chair for the committee, myself and Brianna, and everybody else that is in the team, it's almost as if we're pulling our hair out because, there was such an influx within the last week, and it was like, okay, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? But it was invigorating. It was rejuvenating because now we know people are listening. Now we know people are really being attentive to the need. So it's really wonderful. We're excited. We have so many sponsors, so many individual contributors who just wanted to attend the event. But in general, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
And I think, just coming out of the pandemic and kind of going back to in-person events, it's so heartwarming that our community is coming together, especially for an event like such. And along the way of advertising for a gala, it's a lot of people's first time hearing VARO. And I think that's the most important thing about us having this event and getting on the news and getting on the radio stations is spreading the services that we provide as well. So if we can just share a little bit about that. I think this is a perfect opportunity.
Sure, absolutely.
So we are a 24-hour victim service hotline, and you can reach us at 477-5552. Monday to Sunday, 24 hours a day. A victim advocate will be available should you need any services.
Yeah, and I know the VARO initially was started to assist victims of sexual assault, but you've kind of expanded over the years to also include, for example, domestic abuse, spousal abuse. Talk about that, John.
So you're right. Initially,
oh, John, you're muted.
You're muted again, John. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So initially it started out with the two individuals that saw or who was helping an individual who really had no family here on Guam, who had gone through a sexual assault event. And being that she didn't have any family on Guam, they saw that, they needed to start a movement for individuals here. Of course, at the time they started it, it wasn't as receptive. People weren't as receptive to the concept. And then just over the years, people started getting more and more interested in the concept, and they saw the need. There's two individuals that I want to call out right now, and that's Liz Duenas and her husband. Liz Duenas and her husband, they are pioneers of the organization, along with Karen Cruz, and there's many others who actually started with the organization 40 years ago. But those three individuals, Liz and John, they were volunteer trainers, advocate trainers, and I just I want to recognize them for the work that they started and to where it's at now. But yeah, I mean, it over the years it has evolved into just any type of trauma. So anybody going through any kind of trauma, it is very important that they know that they have someone out there to talk to.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
So, thanks for that, John. Brianna, can you just kind of elaborate on, initially, I think a lot of folks were, over the years, hesitant to make that call, right? But then I think they kind of opened up to the fact that this is something that can really help them.
Yeah, so I think certainly, especially, during the pandemic when victims were home with their abusers, they didn't have the opportunity to make that call. So now that, businesses are opening up, people are going back to work, now they're away from their abuser and they're able to give us a call and for us to provide services. And in addition to, what John shared earlier, I think a lot of the work really goes to our staff and our victim advocate volunteers. Our volunteers, they go through intensive training to man the hotline, and really for them and because of them, we're able to continue serving the people of Guam one call at a time, really.
Absolutely. Talk a little bit more about this training and what's important for the recipients of the calls. I guess listening, being a good listener is probably one of the greatest traits they could have.
Yeah. So a lot of our callers, they call at the time of the abuse, they call right after the abuse has just happened, when they're going through the trauma still, when they're sitting, when they're sitting down processing what just occurred to them, when they're processing what's going to happen to them, right? So when they reach out, their call is very critical. Sometimes we only have 30 seconds on the phone, and in that 30 seconds, you need to be able to provide accurate information, appropriate information, and useful information. And so with that 30 seconds, we're able to create a safety plan. We're able to understand, give them resources that are available to them should they decide to leave.
Yeah. And John, are you looking for more volunteers and staff, and what kind of traits should they be equipped with?
Absolutely. So volunteers, we are always looking for volunteers. The traits you need to have is just be compassionate, be understanding to the world around you, the needs that the community needs. And really the training will give you so much insight as to what it is that we go through when we take the hotline. Our hotline is our lifeline. That tells us if we're doing things right. That helps us to understand whether or not we're reaching enough people or enough people are reaching us. Right now with staff, we would love to hire more staff, but unfortunately with the funding that we get, we are limited to the number of staff that we can have on board. But we're hoping that what this gala is going to do is it's going to open up more doors for us and, kind of open up the doors for VARO, the organization itself, and, create maybe even a little bit more jobs and open up the staff to a better place of, doing the work that they do. So, but yes, volunteers, you can, if you are looking to volunteer, we do have two volunteer opportunity or volunteer trainings coming up next year. Those flyers will be going out sometime in the next year, in around January, February, it'll start coming out. And then you would be able to contact us and let us know that you're interested.
All right. And so what would you say has the number of incidents grown over the years, over the recent years? Are you seeing an increase or decrease in the number of calls? So what is the situation like out there?
Yes, so I think the number of calls have increased, and so has the number or the amount of services that they need. And what we're seeing is more and more families are needing our services. And we can really base that off of the intake we have in our shelter. And John, if you want to explain a little bit more on that.
So with a lot of the services that we provide, first and foremost, we provide emergency shelter. So anybody that is needing to immediately get out of a dangerous situation or a very physical situation, those are the things that we do. We help them get into emergency shelter. But sometimes our emergency shelters are full and booked, and so many of our community partners we reach out to. So we try to work with a lot of our other resources to find them safe haven. And VARO is the pivotal point. We're like the at the top of the list before they go to anyone else. And then a lot of our community partners they try to filter it through us only because we're we have a more flexible way of providing housing or emergency shelter for them. Other than that, yes, the numbers have risen, especially over the pandemic season. We saw a rise in calls. I mean, 100 calls is a lot, but 100 more calls every other month or every month within a year is too much. And we want people to understand that we need not only the community's help, but we need the whole island's help in spreading this word and spreading and just spreading the need, the awareness that everyone knows someone. And that is the national hashtag for domestic violence. Everyone knows someone. We are an organization that is non-competitive. We're non-race. We're non-discriminatory. So anybody that calls the hotline that needs our help will receive that help. Unfortunately, we have had a lot of phone calls regarding homelessness, and those are things that we provide resources to for a lot of our community partners. But in the event it is a traumatic event where we need to provide the services that we do have to focus on emergency shelter, clothing, food. All of these things play a big role in helping a person find a new way out.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
Yeah. What would you say is the most common calls that you get for? What are they calling you most?
Nestor, it's really surprising because more and more men are speaking out. So we actually are seeing an increase of men calling our hotline as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. And when the men call, is it about something in particular, or what are the men calling for?
Yeah, the men are calling, because their wives are being, verbally abusive, or, their wives are financially abusive, and so they call, regarding for themselves and for their children. So we do also take men into our shelter.
Oh, that's
if I may just touch on that, Nestor. When it first started, and even before then, the talk of abuse, the talk of family violence was very taboo. And I continue to say that even now, that subject is taboo, and it's always been taboo until just recently. Men were very prideful, and a lot of times they would rather show a stern face rather than a face of pain and hurt than to show weakness, right? So we're very happy that boys, young men are now more comfortable with saying, okay, you know what, I do need help. You know, um, there's nothing to be ashamed about, right? Everybody needs help every now and then, and it doesn't matter what situation you're in, whether it's family violence, sexual assault. You need to speak out, because unless you speak out, nobody's going to be able to help you. And that's the way I see it, and that's the way a lot of our other constituents see it. Is they were very glad that they called the hotline.
Yeah. So I want to end this on a positive note. So Brianna and John, yeah, give us your best invite for this big gala celebration that you have coming up. Go ahead. I'll start with you, Brianna.
You can start with me. Man, I think they asked me this question before, and my answer is why not? Why not come, dress up, have fun, and support an amazing organization that really provides services to the people of Guam. And again, like John said, hashtag everyone knows someone. So come on down to October 15th at the Hotel Nico for our Purple Gala. It's going to be lots of fun, lots of recognition to our staff and our volunteers. And we're just so happy. And thank you, Nestor and Jason, and all our friends at KUAM for giving us this opportunity to share with the community.
All right. And you, John?
Man, I couldn't have said it any better than Brianna did. So you know what? I'm not even going to try, but I will add to that. If you are still looking to support the cause, support VARO, we again, Brianna said this earlier, but we are still looking for raffle prizes for our raffle, of course. And if you'd like to support in that way, you can give us a call on the hotline at 477-5552, and someone will be able to direct you in the right direction to speak with one of us. Thank you.
All right, that's John Mendiola and Brianna Duenas of VARO, Victim Advocates Reaching Out, celebrating its 40th anniversary. I'm Nestor Licanto. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you again next week on In Full Zoom.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. and IT&E.